What's up guys, it's Yumi Universe. This is me right after getting done making my update video, so if you're watching this and are interested in the slightest about what I'm planning to be doing in 2020, please watch that because it's kind of important for certain people who really want me to do reactions again, and if you're here right now, since it's the beginning of the video and you're probably listening, I am not doing reactions anymore. But if you want to know your savings grace and possible hope of actual reactions, maybe, go to the update video. Please watch that video. I talk a bit in that. But I'll be talking about my story because this is what these videos are for. I'll let you guys know that my personality lock has been pretty much shattered at this point. I'm just kind of bored, and since I'm bored, I'm very, very talkative. So I thought doing one of these videos were a proper thing to do since I'm bored, as I said beforehand. Okay, let's get started from where we left off, and it was back after the conversation with Zaru that I may or may not have probably forgot to mention something very important about that particular scene, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about it when it actually shows up. Starting with this page, we're supposed to go delve deeper into the personalities of Judas's friends, and when he comes in, he finds out that Catherine and Rihanna are fighting one another while Jeff is trying to hold them back, and Giram and Styx are just kind of sitting back, letting this happen because this is what usually happens. Now, back when Judas was saying that the only way to activate the portal, where he thought the only way to activate the portal is the blood of a non-sinning virgin. And the non-sinning virgin is literally impossible in hell, because if you're in hell, you've done sins, and you can't repent that sin because you forgot what your sins are, because Lucifer allowed that. And you can be a virgin, but if you're in a circle of lust, you're probably not a virgin. But you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying here. So so Rihanna took it as Catherine took Judas's virginity because Judas said he is a non-sinning. He isn't a non-sinning virgin. They didn't know which part they were talking about because Judas has both sinned and he has not had sex. He is in fact a virgin. So these two are fighting over nothing basically. And Catherine is yelling at Rihanna because she thinks the exact same thing. So in the very next page, you have the friends saying, Judas, these are your two like basic friends here, girlfriends, please control them. And before they, start blowing shit up, as they tend to do when they get overly aggressive toward each other. And Judas is having to face that he's been doing this way too many times to have to constantly do it. But the whole deal with the whole relationship aspect between Judas, Catherine, and Rihanna is that Judas was Catherine's boyfriend for a long time. And then Rihanna came in and basically, literally, I'm going to say it right now, literally took him away from her. Why they are friends? They're not friends. They tolerate each other because they both want to be by Judas. So they're by Judas. When Judas leaves, shit like this happens. So just throwing it out there right now. So the best way that Judas tends to handle these two, about to get into a fight with one another, since they always seem to do this face-to-face, eyeing each other up deal, that he just slams their heads together and make them kiss each other. Because he finds it hilarious, and that's the whole thing. This has nothing to do with literally anything more than Judas is a prankster and really hates it when they do this all the time. So there you go. That's how he handles the situation, and now they're away from each other. One thinks they're... and I also want to throw something out here, because when it comes to subtlety, that's like my middle name at this point. Because the whole thing that if you watch the newest Star Wars movie, there's no spoilers, but let you know at the end of the movie there's been this controversy around a gay kiss scene between two women in the background of a scene. You have two sides of this, and also a middle ground side. But I'm just going to talk about the two sides. You have the side that says that why make it background? You should make it more of the forefront, so you don't have to be scared of them being gay or whatever the fuck. And they just don't like that it's in the background. Why is that? You should make it in the foreground. It should be something that should be seen more. And then you have the people that I'm on, the side that I'm on. And I'm on the side of the whole thing that I like about heterosexuality, homosexuality, literally any sexuality, is that if you really want a true world where all of it is just okay, then having it in the background shows that it is just normal. If you put it into the foreground and continuously jam the fact that, hey, look, gays! If you constantly do that, it's like you're saying that it needs to be special. It doesn't need to be special, it just needs to be normal. because normal is literally everything at that point. So why complain about the fact that it's in the background? You should be happy that it's there at all. That's the entire deal here. And then you have the other camp. The thing that I don't like that Disney does. The thing I don't like that Disney does is that they take that scene out for other releases in like other countries because they don't like the gays. That's the shit I hate. But when you have this sort of thing, when you have this sort of thing happen, just showing how normal it is, that's the proper way to do shit. That's the proper way to literally do anything in media. So why did I go on that little rant? Is because to showcase that Catherine find it disgusting that she kissed Rihanna. But Rihanna, if you look at her reaction and read what she says, she's not opposed from kissing Catherine. This is me setting the seeds because let's just say Rihanna shows up again in the story, and when she shows up, she gains more of a character, and then it gets revealed that she's basically bisexual. She's okay with that sort of stuff. But I don't put it into the foreground. I don't even say that she's bisexual in the story. She doesn't even say anything. She just is her and is okay with literally anyone that she's able to kiss. But she's with Judas because bisexuality means that you're also into men. So that's the whole thing. She wasn't opposed from kissing Catherine because she's okay with that sort of stuff. But Catherine is in fact straight as a board. So she was disgusted by that because she doesn't like that. That's just her personal preference. So it's like that sort of thing. That's what I mean by subtlety. You wouldn't know what I was talking about with this entire page and how these characters are treating this particular scenario unless I told you as the story writer. But as a reader, you just say, oh, this is just normal. Whoa, it's almost like it's just easy to do that. But anyway, going a little too much on that one aspect, because when I see things and I want to talk like this, it's another good way to get like your input on certain stuff, because I just got through replying back to a person talking about my tsundere problem, how I hate tsunderes and how I hate how their overly violent nature pretty much ruins whatever character they were supposed to be, and literally any situation where the main character, who has nothing to do with any scenario, just gets punched for no reason, really ticks me off. But then he brings up, but the person brings up that, yeah, tsunderes who are violent, yeah, those are the bad tsunderes. But the tsunderes that are just cute and just are adherent to showing their true, like, feeling, like, girly nature toward the person they like Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club before she, tries to snap your neck and tries to hug you. Her personality, she doesn't try to hurt the main character. She just is like, really distant in a way, but in her own cutesy, don't bother me, and I'm trying not to like you, but I kind of like you kind of way. And I like that. That's actually cute. So yeah, I hate tsunderes, the violent types, but you have the tsundere types of Natsuki. Okay, in my book. So that's why I'm really like talking like this, because if you guys agree with that sort of like mentality, I start to put more and more of what I feel about the world into my story and into these breakdown videos, and how I just what was in my head basically when I did this sort of stuff. And you really want to know what was in my head when I drew this page in particular? Nothing much. You see what I mean there? I wasn't going at this with like, I'm just gonna put like a slight lesbian-like kiss in this thing to do that. Nope, I just said, no, this would be funny. And then that's it! That's it! And it's just, whatever. Okay. Anyway, continuing onward, at the bottom there, Judas is talking about that, yes, the blood of a non-sinning virgin is actually a part if you're on the planet Earth to get to hell, not the other way around. Only a very powerful Lord can do it, and my blood's not going to do anything because I'm not even like 2% as strong as my dad. So yeah, we're basically stuck here. We did this for nothing, and we did nothing. We could have done it anyway. So screw everything. We fucked up. So Catherine exclaims that she feels as though that we did all this for nothing. Oh, great. Is there any way that we can probably do it? And then it's like, no, they just go back and forth on that sort of matter. And Judas says, no, I know for sure that this isn't going to work. Zaru said so. Zaru said so. And saying he was looking for Sagi. And then we get like a little scene of Six being interested that Judas brought up Sagi and saying, oh, Sagi was here? Sagi's here? What is she doing? And then Judas says, something about trying to mess with my dad. She needs to go get him about angels and stuff. And by the way, my mom told me to tell you something. Because in the conversation that I forgot to bring up, but this isn't very minor, I think it was okay to bring it up here, that in the conversation between Judas and Katrina told Judas to tell Styx that the river needs her. Now, if you know anything about hell and the river Styx, you would know the river is named Styx. Pretty straightforward. And that Styx as a character, this is where you find out, oh, looks like the river and the character Styx is related to each other, despite it just being a name. And then she's like, oh man, I gotta go. I'll see you around. Oh man, I gotta go. Just give me like a 10 minutes or something. And then in the very next page, she comes right back, and Judas exclaims that it's only been a second. So this is me also, again, explaining that hell and time zones are fucking non-existent. I will let you guys know that she was gone for like several days, if not maybe a few weeks. And she comes back in literally a second. That's how time is so fucking wonky. You can have an entire journey, an adventure. You can live out 1,000 lifetimes. But then when you go to another circle, you can be like 2 seconds ago. So that sort of thing is just supposed to show just how effed up time. Why did I say it like that? After all the F-bombs I've been dropping, I say it like that. Whatever. It goes off like that. And she's back, and she's like, okay, it's fine. She did her thing, and now she's back. Judas is upset that they weren't able to do the thing, go over to Earth, because he's just bored being in hell, because his parents are too afraid to let him stay in a circle by himself, because it's too dangerous for this type of demon. The Baron race is the weakest race of demon, period. Basically, normal-ass people. Let's take Frisk from Undertale, could probably wipe out like 4 by herself, and themselves, my bad, by themselves, and that sort of thing. These are very weak demons, so them going to Earth is probably like the worst possible idea, but he just wants to have some fun. He's tired of his parents constantly saying that he's unable to go anywhere because how weak he is and shit like that. So he sits down. He sits down and just kind of shoots the shit, saying, okay, well, I guess since we're going to just be here, we might as well just talk about what could have been, right? What exactly were we going to do when we get to Earth? And the next page shows that Catherine just would go wherever Judas is. She doesn't care what he's doing, where he's going. It's just that she wants to be with Judas. Again, emphasizing how much she still cares about him despite not being his girlfriend anymore. Javix just would piss in all their rivers. And that was the funniest thing I came up with at the time. As you can tell, I'm floored in laughter every time I come up with that. Yeah, but here's the thing about Kappa. Yeah, they go into rivers and they rip your soul out of your anus, apparently. I don't know why the anus, but that's what they do. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to slightly reference that, but not actual anus part. That he just wants to go on Earth and piss in rivers. That's it. That's literally his only motivation. Giram wants to have sex with men because he feels as though that a lot of pedophiles would get into his Shota look. And that's basically it. And I like Giram, how he's just straightforward about, yeah, I just like pedophiles. They intrigue me the most, and they are the best food. And Rihanna is pretty much the same thing, just kind of like wants to achieve like a fun nature, achieve something more fun than where she is right now, and wherever Judas goes, she would go. I forget what Styx's motivation was, and I can't really read it here. But if I had to think about, oh yeah, she just wanted to blow up a skyscraper. Yeah, that's it. She just wants to go to Earth so she can blow up a skyscraper. Specifically a skyscraper, not a building, nope, a literal just a skyscraper. It's something that is classified as that and blow it up. That's it. That's her only goal, nothing else. And then she just comes back and that's it. So yeah. Great motivation for these characters. You see how much I really am expecting them to stick around for very long. But in any case, yeah, they were just happy. And at the end page is supposed to be like, literally Rihanna and Catherine would be fine wherever Judas goes. That's exactly it. They're a posse, they're a group, they're friends, so they just want to stick with each other. And that's the end of the scene. And we go right back to where Katrina is. And she's coming back from her little talk from her talk in exchange from Judas back into the castle. She looks up and notices Sagi, and in the very next page, someone noticed this a little bit, and I'm gonna just say it outright because knowing you people and myself, that I'm just gonna take it as you'll forget, like once we actually reach a page where this gets revealed, because I have over 2,378 pages of this shit. And it hasn't even been revealed yet, so I'm almost entirely certain that when I say it here, you guys are going to forget anyway. So I'm going to bank on that and just go off on someone pointed this out on my DeviantArt page, and that Sagi and Katrina kind of look alike in a way. Long hair, they have the same kind of structure. You see them from the back, you see them from side to side. They even share like some markings on their body. They look kind of the same. That's intentional because they are technically the same person in a way. Okay, background on things. Katrina was created first. Let's make things. Katrina was created first. And yes, Katrina is an angel. I'm gonna have it revealed later here anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It's just not this, not the page. Katrina is an angel. She is an actual angel. She's not just an angel. She's one of the, if not literally, the strongest angel in all of heaven. She is the apex predator of angels right now. So she is the apex angel, and she was created by God personally. She is one of the main angels that were created specifically by God, while other angels were created by other means. But let's keep that in mind. Then when Lucifer came out, and you know how Lucifer used to be part of heaven, Lucifer's main deal is what he did literally in the first few pages of this story. Rip out a piece of his soul and create life from it. Lucifer wanted to create life in a different way than mating would do, where you have sex, have a child through that way. He thought it would be better to make a being from your own essence. That way, it's much faster to do because once you do it, it's not a baby. It doesn't have to develop. You don't have to develop in any type of way. Just how you feel like you want them to act and feel a certain way. You take it out, and boom, you got a new person. Now, when Katrina, back when she was an angel, was created and was very powerful and doing this sort of stuff, Lucifer wanted to make a framework of a particular angel first for his first creation from ripping a piece of his soul. And when he did that, he basically made Sagi in the same image as what Katrina is. And this gets revealed literally fucking way down the line. I don't even remember which chapter I bring it up in because it's supposed to be like this big, like, in the past kind of deal. Hell, I don't know why I'm even putting that much effort into trying to hide shit. I have all of this shit already said on my DeviantArt page in a timeline event of all what happened in heaven. It's like, it's fucking long. It's a timeline of the beginning of time, the beginning of existence itself, all the way down to where Lucifer betrays God and hell is formed. And that's a pretty long timeline of events of things that happen. And I say in that timeline of events, when Lucifer wanted to create something, he created something out of the image of Katrina back when she was an angel. So that's why Sagi here looks like Katrina, and that gets revealed later on. But again, that's just me having really subtle framework and really delving into the fact that you guys are going to forget about this anyway. So, yeah, so when it gets revealed, it's going to be like, oh, fuck, the framework was there the whole time? Oh, my God, it's like time travel. But, yeah, the basic page itself, if you continue to move downward, it's just that Katrina expected her to be here. That's why she's not surprised or even trying to stop and talk to her about why she's currently in the castle right now. Says, okay, I'm going to leave. And Sagi pays her no mind, just says to go fuck yourself, you angel bitch, and just leaves. She explained something that should be interesting. It should be interesting. Sagi is saying that if she wasn't with Kuthala right now, if Kuthala didn't like her right now, she would just murder her ass right then and there. Because that's how much she cares about Kuthala and his happiness in particular. That since she is in love with him and he is in love with her, if Sagi kills her, that means Kuthala will be mad at Sagi, and Sagi does not want Kuthala to hate her. That just further shows that she really does in fact care about Kuthala on an actual personal level. That isn't just her being playing around. So she's just mad that she wasn't able to kill her fast enough in order for them to not get together. And so she has to deal with the fact that they're here and nothing's going to change that. And just like, god damn it. So as she walks out, she runs into my favorite character, Zaru, who's meeting her at the door. Happily enough, ironically making the entire exchange he had with Judas almost moot because he didn't even have access to the fact that he could get inside it. Because he didn't even utilize the fact that he could get into the castle now with the added respect. So he just here tells Sagi, hey, I know you more than I know that you know your own circle by knowing you would be here. Lucifer wants to talk to you about the angel situation. You need to go there now. Don't fucking keep him waiting. And then Sagi's like, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem. Before she's able to leave, she's like, you do know how it's literally a bad idea to just waltz into a lord's throne room without specific permission. So again, more punishment aspect to Sagi could come her way if Lucifer got wind that she did this again. So she leaves, says later Z, and she dips. Now, this is also the page where I kind of poke fun at the fact that Zaru's name has never been fully said by literally anyone in the story right now, and he's like, you know, I just realized something. No one's actually called me by my actual name. You know what? If I remember correctly, my lord, Lucifer, the guy who created me and gave me said name, also does not call me by this name. I now feel like I have been used. Going by Zaru shouldn't be that bad, so we just stick with Zaru. So if you ever want to call Zaru anything, just say Zaru. He can deal with that. He can deal with that. So after that was said and done, you get their exchange out of the way. We go into Kuthala. Now we have another running joke here. I don't know if I brought this up already, but I'll bring it up again because he's doing it blatantly right here, right now. Kuthala's character literally talks out loud, and this is me projecting because I talk out loud too. I do remember talking about this. Kuthala and the race of Baron all have a trait of talking out loud to each other, to themselves, because they just want to get their emotions out, like through actual verbal communication, even though no one's listening. So he even explains, look at me, I'm even arguing with a goddamn tool. It's like, what the fuck? He's wondering about why the blade's here. He's starting to really go off the deep end as to why this thing exists. Thanks to Sagi bringing it back up to the forefront, that this blade is basically the foundation of not only my life, but the lives of people who want to get to it. And if what Sagi say is even remotely true, then it's even my entire love life. So what exactly am I supposed to do when it comes to controlling the power of this thing? And I just want to understand it more. And this is important. I actually remember to say it. I actually remember to say it this time. This is important. Kuthala brings up, this is important. This is important. Kuthala brings up in this scene that he tried pulling it up, nothing happened. Katrina tried pulling it up, nothing happened. Literally everyone in this circle tried pulling up, nothing happened. Even his son Judas tried picking it up. Nothing happened. You cannot lift this blade up. Even Judas, your main character, can't lift it up. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. And as I already said beforehand, Katrina is the apex, the most powerful angel, and she can't lift it up. You could argue that she was doing it fakely, but me as the author, I'll tell you no. She tried to actually lift it up. Nothing happened. So even if you're very strong, you cannot lift this thing up. Sagi tried lifting it up, nothing happened. Sun tried lifting it up, nothing happened. We don't know how this fucking thing works, and it gets more and more confusing as we go on. Katrina is now in the scene. And Kuthala explains to Katrina in the previous page that all that what happened, yes, Sagi was here, yes, she messed with me, but she started to go off the deep end and saying you're some type of angel and stuff like that. I couldn't take it, so I kind of actually, stabbed her to the chest and threw her into a door. So, yeah, it was all because I love you, and it's because I can't bear people talking ill of you and that sort of thing. Actual good couple type of things to talk about. They share a kiss and this all that. Then Kuthala brings up that I just hate it when people keep secrets from me, keep trying their best to just keep away stuff. Hell, even Judas is trying to keep a secret from us, trying to go to Earth with that super portal of his, but it's not going to work and it won't happen, which is why he hasn't stepped in to stop him or anything, because he knows nothing will come of it. And as soon as he brings up the secret aspect, Katrina opens up her eyes and has a revelation. I think this is the time that I actually tell him I'm an angel, and she reveals that to him. Now it's important. I don't know why I keep saying it. I'm telling you, I don't know if I remember saying this, but a bingo book. Get that bingo book ready. There's going to be various things I say on a constant basis when explaining this goddamn story. And that this page showcases one thing. This slowly reveals something as a minor thing until it gets revealed later down the line. And it's in the same sketchbook, so it's not like it's going to be ways away. This is in the same sketchbook. As Katrina is trying to tell Kuthala that she is an angel, Kuthala is frequently saying, don't say it. As in, don't say that you're an angel. Don't say it out loud. And that's a big reveal there. But you can interpret it as him saying, please don't say it. Like, don't tell me this is what you really are. That sort of thing. So, because it'll be weird to just have this fun-loving character suddenly go evil on you, right? Anyway, continuing onward, as soon as she gets revealed that she is an angel to him, we got right back to Judas opening up his eyes, shooting himself awake. Supposed to be like this big shocker thing, just like, oh shit, she's an angel. What is Kuthala gonna do now? No, but you won't find out because we're back with Judas. So everyone's asleep. He gets himself up. And says, I'm gonna try and see if I can ask my parents if we could go to Earth. I know it's probably not gonna work, but it's better than nothing. And hell, we really did have some fun, even if we had to get a fucking like guide of somebody. I don't know, maybe his babysitter, because his babysitter is really fucking strong. We need to do something. So I'm gonna give it a shot. You guys stay here, and I'll be back in no time at all. And Rihanna says, okay, good luck, and do your best out there. And it's like, okay. And then he goes off, saying that we've been here for years. We're old enough for it. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Judas is 1,013 years old. 1,013 years old. That's basically how it is. So basically anything involving like actual ages of characters is always skewed because they're demons. Demon aging philosophy is very all over the place. But yeah, he says his piece, saying I'm gonna give it a shot. And he starts jumping back, and Rihanna is gonna be there waiting. And this is supposed to be an establishing shot of seeing how big this place still is, and how he's still very agilely jumping through building to building, and thinking about how he's gonna ask his parents, and just letting the build up lead to the scene, because there are a lot of people who honestly did not believe that Kuthala would do anything, and I'm with that. Kuthala is a very nice dude. And their relationship with Katrina really showcased, yeah, they really cared about each other. And then you get to the next page, and then you see he has a big reaction, and yeah, Kuthala kills Katrina. Since this is a story breakdown and not a reading, I wasn't trying to build this up as some big revelational, oh my god, shocker piece. But that's only if you're trying to read my story. That's supposed to be how it is. This is just a breakdown. How I wanted to frame all this stuff, all the way from the beginning and from the reveal, was the fact that I really built out the fact that these two truly loved each other. When they're together, they're not like bicker. They're not trying to hurt each other. You're not being the generic horrible father. You're not trying to be the less generic, but still very much almost very generic, overly abusive mother. That sort of thing. They're a true family who had Judas as a literal child. Why I say literal child is because there's a thing that I'm going to explain later, because explaining it now will mean nothing. But they come together, and they love each other that much. But then, as the reveal slowly builds up, it's like, he really went there. He really killed this person he loved. And it's like, wow, that's a huge 180. And it's just supposed to be like, yeah. And I also made it so that you liked Katrina. You liked her personality. You liked what her interaction with Judas was. You liked her as a character. And when you get the reveal that she is something that she's not supposed to be around, and then just like, boom, she gets killed, it's supposed to be shocking. Hopefully I actually achieved that, and it looks like I did when it comes to the comments, in my execution of that deal. Killing off characters. 101 by John R. Mitchell. So next page is supposed to be, I'm probably going to take away the dialogue in this and like subsequent playthroughs, and you can just kind of use your interpretation, but I really want to hammer in the fact that if you get killed in hell by a lord, by a demon lord, you get obliterated. You don't die. You get obliterated. Nothing of you is around. Your soul, your mind, your body, all gone. The only thing left of you is the memories of people who knew you. That's it. So, since she was killed by Kuthala, who is a lord, she is obliterated. She cracks away from existence, and there's no way to bring her back. Literally no way. God himself cannot bring her back legitimately. The only way that God can bring, quote-unquote, Katrina back is by making a brand new Katrina, which in the case isn't even Katrina anymore. It's another person who just has the same face and can develop the same way, but it's basically just a whole other person. So, Katrina is gone. Gone. Never coming back. And I, as a story writer, am telling you this now. She is never coming back. She dies in this panel, and everyone else just has to deal with that. Judas sees his mother die, and Kuthala notices Judas. Kuthala is like, oh, great. You saved me a walk, son. I can kill you too, because since you were born from her, means that you have angel blood inside you. And since I am a demon, and you are technically an angel, I need to do my job, as you would say. And he says, since you are family, I'm going to do what I did for her and make it quick. And if you notice, he's crying. So yeah, still showing that he's still very much adherent to what he just did. But he's a demon, and she was an angel. It's just business. So after hearing that, Judas gets angry because after murdering his mom right in front of him, that's the first thing he has to say to him. Not saying the reason, like the true, like overarching reason. It's like, come on, how fucking dare you? And he tries to attempt to fight his father, but just like with Zaru, not even 2% as strong. Literally gets fucking one shot through the chest easily like that, and then pushed into the blade. Now I'm going to preface this a little bit. Black spirals come out of the back where the blade comes from, and that's important. Black spirals are like the aura you can get, the aura that comes from this particular demon's power. Kuzala's main aura is black spirals. Just throwing it out there because they're going to show up again, so it's good to say it here now. So when he stabs Judas, you see black spirals come out the back, and just like that, and then it gets pushed into the blade. Now we get to the scene where I told you it was important to know and realize. Okay, so he's trying to pick himself back up, and Kuzala is saying that Katrina has been doing nothing but lie to me this entire time, doing everything just for the God she worships. Shit like that. My entire life is a lie. Your existence is just it's just a blight in my existence now. I'm just gonna do what Sagi wanted me to do and just be a lord that people need to fear, and not a lord that needs to be liked, basically. And Judas just tells him to shut up. That makes no sense because literally the entirety of his life was nothing but of happiness with Katrina. That he, her, and him all were happy together, and nothing this bad has ever come to fruition until this very moment, where apparently being a demon is way more important to you than being a legitimately nice person. So it's like Katrina was showcasing, even though you are considered a demon, doesn't mean you have to conform to what demons are known to be, and not being evil, genocidal maniacs who just go around hurting people for the fun of it and shit like that. Katrina was the holy light to these demons, allowing them to pretty much, and you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm even saying it and didn't bring this up, which is why I loved watching Has Been Hotel. Has Been Hotel, his entire concept is showing that just because you are a demon doesn't mean you cannot be saved. Does not mean you have to continue to be this asshole because you're a demon and you were an asshole in the past. That means you've gone to the point of no return. You're forever an asshole. That's why I like Hell of a Boss, because it's taking that concept that I was doing with Katrina and just doing it here. Katrina's entire character motivation that will get revealed slowly over time in the story is that the longer she stayed in hell, the more she was helping demon lords and demons alike be more attuned to what they used to be on Earth back when they were children, back when they had a life where they were happy. This sort of stuff where like this and this and this and this. They don't have to be that, and that's what limbo is basically supposed to be. When a succubus lives on limbo, they don't have to live off sex. They don't have to live off gaining the vitality from people. They can live normally, eating regular food, gaining legitimate relationships, like how Catherine and Judas were boyfriend and girlfriend. They were together in an actual loving relationship, and not something that was supposed to be like, I get this from you, let me get this from that, and this and this and this and this. Gluttons don't have to overindulge themselves in food. So this and this shit like that. It was I love that type of concept. And now Katrina's gone, and he's just trying to Judas is trying to tell him that being a demon shouldn't just immediately mean once you find an angel, kill on sight. So then we get the part where I told you was important. He grabs the blade, proceeds to not lift it up, but break it off the pedestal. He breaks it. On one hand, you could say, oh, that's a loophole. And on the other hand, that would be a plot hole, if not weird. Then why the fuck they didn't try breaking it? It's because that's not a plot hole or a loophole. It's because Judas is now able to use the blade. But since he's so angry, instead of lifting it up, like, which would be weird when you're angry, he instead breaks it off like an actual angry person would. So this showcases that Judas can use the blade now, weirdly enough. Why is it now? And I reveal it here in the exact page. And someone kind of pointed it out. I don't know if they meant it as in, I see what you did there, because he doesn't know how this blade works anyway, so I'm pretty sure it's the former. Judas says that that I feel nothing for you right now. Basically saying that only people who have attained the power of nothing can lift the blade, because the blade itself is the power of nothing. And it's the power of obliteration itself. That's what this blade is basically built upon. So only people who achieve nothing can lift the blade. Judas has lost something in his life that he truly cared for. His mom was his life to him. So is his dad. Seeing his mom die like that and see that it was because of his father basically makes it so that literally he is now a person with nothing to lose and everything to gain from trying to kill his dad right now with this blade. And the blade is responding to that emotion, responding to that feeling of nothingness within him, and allowing him to lift it up. So if you have something, you can't lift it up. Kuthala had the love of his family. Sagi had the hatred of God and the angels. Any angel that attempted had the ability to one day wipe something out. Judas has nothing and wants to continue to lose something, which allows the blade to allow itself to be picked up, because it wants to be used to allow himself to gain more nothing, you could say. Because the blade is kind of has actually some cognizance to it. The cognizance ability of this blade knows certain decisions that Judas is going to make. So saying that he has something to gain from killing his father also means he has something to lose from losing his dad as well. And it knows the outcome of what this is going to occur if the blade is allowed to be used, and that's why it's allowing to be used right now. So Judas attempts charges at his dad, and you expect sort of the same result. Just because you have a blade now doesn't mean your speed is anywhere near still the speed of what Kuthala has. And then it gets showcased that as he is about to stab his father, you see that he intentionally drops the sword, and he gets stabbed. And in the same in this page, you see Judas see the sword going down. Judas expected him to block, but he didn't. Why didn't he block? And then Kuthala smiles, and then the page is supposed to reveal that he always knew. He always knew that Katrina was an angel. He always knew, but he kept it in the back of his mind, kept it as a secret to everyone else in the circles, because he knew that that other demon lords would come down and torture her or kill her, do basically like that, anything of the sort. So the only way to keep something in the back of your head like that is to make sure that you truly believe to yourself that it's not true. You know it in the back there. It's kind of like in a vault. But if it's brought up in some way, then it will just, for a brief moment, it'll come back into your head. It's like that one line in that one play where it's like if you say don't think about a giant elephant, sometime maybe you might actually think of a giant elephant. Just because you say don't think about it, it actually makes you think about it, because that's how the psychology of some humans work. So that sort of thing. So that's like the added thing, that when Kuthala is trying to tell Katrina not to say it, he's saying that as a means to stop her from revealing it to him, so it just gets blurted out to the rest of the party, and he just can't stop her. She reveals it, and that's like nothing else I can do. So it's either betray everyone and then lose my wife and probably have her be tortured because they want the information that she probably got from being here for so long, or do her a service and kill her. It's quick. He made it, as he said in the page, he made it quick. He did it because he loved her, and that's the main thing. And that's it. And he wanted to do the same thing for his son because they would do the same thing to him. And that sort of thing. So it's either kill his son or find a way for his son to kill him, because he loves his son and he really loves Katrina. And since he doesn't want to kill his son and wants to be with Katrina, he thought it would be good to awaken the rage within his son to hopefully do an anime and grab the blade that no one else could lift up and kill him. And that's what happened. He wanted to die, so if there is another place like the Void, if the Void is actually a physical place and you could still be with people in, he's going to give it a shot and die to be with her again. Meaning that he will be leaving his son, but he should be way better off, because he feels like something good is going to come from this. And he tells Judas one last thing that his mom and his wife has told them to be for a long time. Be something more, and that's it. Be something more, something that isn't just what our titles are and what we can be and what we should be, and that's it. As it gets revealed, Judas gets the truth, and he screams out his fault, he screams out Dad, and this giant beam comes out from the sky. This giant beam is really fucking important. Like, holy shit. I didn't even expect it to be this important, but I made this beam pretty much the antithesis of a lot of things that goes on in the story. This beam showcases one of the primary aspects of like the hacks system in my story. The hacks being that once you see this beam, something happens, and I will reveal it later, but something happens, and this something is like the biggest reveal later down the line in the story. So, yeah, keep this beam in mind. It's a beam of importance. It's a beam of importance. So, the beam happens, goes out, and I have a 2-page spread. I even did this shit. You're not going to see my face. You're not going to see my face very much for this one. You just have to deal with that for right now. But I have a 2-page spread here of the fog coming back. Since the blade is gone, the narrator is saying, since the blade is gone, the fog is coming back, and the entirety of this of the circle is going to go right back where it used to be. And I like this 2-page spread. It's the only time I really do a 2-page spread like this. It's because I really want to overemphasize the scale of the city that they were in, along with the scale of the surface of the scale of the surface of Limbo itself, along with everything else occurring. So I'm just going to get rid of this one and bring up this page. Yes. Then you have other demons. You're going to notice one thing. Whenever I have generic looking characters, I try not to waste my best designs on generic characters you're only going to see for like 2 panels at the very least. So you have very generic looking demons. You even have that little mole guy. I don't even know what was in the fuck. I think if someone else drew that, to tell you the truth, back in the day. I don't remember. In the end, you have generic looking demons saying the fog is coming back, the fog is coming back. They try to run away from it. They get trapped inside, and you see what happens to them. Any demon with like a design gets turned into like a husk-based thing and just starts walking eternally. That's how Limbo works. And if you touch the fog, doesn't matter how strong you are, even if you're a lord, you will be affected by the fog. So that's why it's never a good idea to go to Limbo. Never a good idea. So after that gets done, God steps in. And when I say God, I not mean Jehovah. I mean God, the God, deity of spirit. That God, the true God, the God that gets shit done because, you know, he's God. Tier 0, God. He's about to start up a system that I believe makes sense in the context of the matter. In the past, it used to be that you have heaven, the mortal realm in the middle, and then hell at the bottom. Makes sense, right? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Heaven is up, hell is down. But now, God, to make sure something like this doesn't happen again, he's going to make it so that heaven is at the top. Hell is running in like congruent to heaven. So the only way a demon can get to Earth, aka the human realm, is they first need to get through heaven, which is good and bad. Good, because now you have the angels just taking him out up front and not having to worry about the fog, deal with the fog. They can just deal, the more powerful angels can just take out the demons before they even get a chance to get to the moral realm. And it's bad because he's also technically putting his own place in jeopardy. But he feels as though he's strong enough to keep that at bay. So this is fine. So he's basically rewriting the structure of reality to make it so that something like this can't happen again, showing the power of God itself. And as you see, that there's 3 parts to God. There's Jehovah, I Am, and God. This is supposed to represent the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Son being Jehovah, the Father being I Am, and the Holy Spirit being God. The Son, obviously, with Jehovah's stature, demeanor, how he's benevolent. He's a benevolent being, and he loves everything. And anytime he seems upset, that's when you know you did something wrong. I Am is a more father-like figure. He's a person who you can talk to. He's very approachable. He's a guy that is going to listen and see if he can help in some way, but not do everything for you because he's willing to step back and let you solve your own problems. God is the guy you literally do not want to fuck with, because if you even say the wrong thing in your head about this guy, he is going to obliterate you out of existence because he's that touchy. We're talking about the same guy who flooded the planet, okay? You're talking about the same guy who threw a rock at the Earth because some dinosaurs are living on it. We're talking about the guy who scheduled a mass-wide genocide of people because they worshipped a golden cow, all right? This guy's crazy, but he's God. He can do what he wants. He's that powerful, but he does it for good reason, good purposes that I reveal later down the line. And also the Bible also kind of explains, but I explain it too, don't worry. And that sort of thing. God is strict. He's straightforward and strict, but he does things on the merit that he knows something else is going to come from it that's better than what's currently going on right now. Because he also doesn't want to just solve everyone's problem with a slap of his finger, because then what's the point of creation if you can't see what it does? Right? It's like building a robot and leaving it off forever because you think that it's going to malfunction and do something wrong or hurt you or something like that. That's not how creation works. You want to create to allow it to be seen, allow it to be heard, allow it to develop, grow, make improvements on it. But when you actually see it make those mistakes, so if you just kind of fix everything, where's the point in that? So that's basically what he breaks the rule here. It's like the whole system of heaven, hell, that sort of thing. So any demon or something like that could get to the earth, they can handle it. That sort of thing. But now they come overabundance and that sort of thing. And the blade is kind of confusing. It's weird and this sort of stuff happens. He's going to rewrite reality to make it so that he has to deal with the problem instead of the humans at this point. Give them a break, you could say. So, this is him. Basically, I'm more than likely going to change this design now. Because this was me really going too deep on detail. When in actuality, I should have just made a fucking ethereal being, to tell you the truth. So this design may change later down the line. But this is him basically exclaiming how things are going to be different now. This is going to be the new age. It's the brand new type of era that's coming out right now at this second. It's important to, God damn it, and there I go again. It's important to know that at this moment, basically a new era has occurred. A new era. Everything is supposed to be new and different. The new structure of the system of life itself, people, everything, time and space are altered. Thanks to this event that happened here. And that gets further elaborated on later in the future. So, next page, we basically get a basic rundown of how life is right now. The year is 2807. The year is 2807. And demons are still able to get the human realm. And the ones that were able to stick around or were basically on the planet are still here. So the special task force that I talked about later, beforehand, everything else, angels that are still sticking around, they're going to see if they can handle this problem. Now that they actually have a solution, because whenever they kill a demon, it just goes right back to hell to come back. So now that hell is now a prison again, like a full-fledged prison again, we're able to kill these demons, bring them back into hell, and we don't have to deal with them anymore. And it's also very important to note that a particular thing happens when a particular lord gets obliterated. Because I forgot to mention in the previous page, when Judas stabs Cthulhu, he gets obliterated. So the sword obliterates him. He doesn't just die. He's now gone for good too. Just like how Katrina is. And just like Katrina, he's not coming back either. I'm the type of storyteller that when he kills a guy, they stay dead. So yeah. So there's that. When we see the other demons in the background, I will say this. I have yet to reveal a single one of these types of demons that are in my world. Not a single one. Not a rock creature. Not that weird fox girl. Especially not that one succubus looking bitch. Especially the wolf man. I don't know why I did that to myself. I suck it. I fucking hate drawing wolves. But literally nothing else shows up in the story right now. But maybe I might change that in the future. I kind of like going with different designs of new demons every single time that I have a chance to do something. So expect that more. But then at the end of the page, you get someone putting their hand on this new character's shoulder. And now we are out of Judas, and now we have Juto. Juto Origato. Now, Judo's name has been Judo's name for ever since I was 6 years old. The reason why, well, not technically. Judo's, yeah, it was. It was his name ever since I was 6 years old. It has not changed, and probably still never going to change, even though I find it myself to be kind of a weird name. I don't even know why I really gave him that name. It has been that long since I came up with this character. And that name, to this day, I think his only existence of that name is because it was supposed to be a running gag. It was supposed to be a running gag in the beginning. where everyone would call him Judo, as in the karate, the martial art, Judo, the martial art, and not Juto with a T. That was supposed to be the running joke. Every time he introduced himself, he would have to exclaim that it's with a T, not a D. So that never becomes a running joke. Actually, it doesn't even become a joke, period, in my story. I think it's because I forgot and I knew it wasn't funny. So, Judo Arigato. It is going to be your new character to call a main character. He's not Judas, he's Judo. That is important to know. It's just coming up at this point. You're just going to expect me to say it. Judo, as a character, has not changed very much throughout the years that I've been writing him. He's basically the me I wish I was, and that's basically what the entire Judo's character is frankly all about. He's the guy that I always wanted to be growing up. The guy who is timid, not afraid to express his feelings, but is also not afraid to kick your ass because he has the ability to. He has the forefront to stand up for himself, but he chooses not to because he just wants to allow people to do their thing. But if they go too far in something, he can actually do something about it. He can make friends because he knows how to talk to people. He's not antisocial. He's not something like that. He wants to impress others while also being humble about his abilities and skills, and understands things better. So yeah, and this also gets a slight reveal of the Special Task Force that I talked about in the past. This is that Special Task Force. They are known as the DEO, which gets revealed in like the next sketchbook that I'll be getting into next week. The DEO. I was going to call it the DIO as a JoJo reference, but I just remembered that it'd probably be a bad idea to have your Special Task Force be called God when they serve God. So yeah, that'll be kind of confusing. So they call it DEO to make it more, central. But it's still a JoJo reference. So just know that. So we'll get more into that later. But basically, to have a basic summary of what this sketchbook is, what the sketchbook is about, and the prologue as a whole. I made the prologue as a way to, you don't have to read the prologue to get into chapter 1. Because the shit in the prologue gets like slowly but surely revealed. And it's supposed to be like a basic mystery kind of thing about what Judo's past was, what it's about, what he developed, and how he's this now. And how he's here. Judo, if Judo was supposed to be Judas, in a way, how is he here? How did he get here? What's going on? There's a story behind that. There's background. What is that about? That sort of thing. And hopefully I reveal it in tow properly. But yeah, he looks basically like Judas, which is supposed to be the indication that yes. And plus he has sort of the same name. Judas, Judo, that sort of thing. Ha ha ha. And that sort of deal. We also get a reveal about how a lot of other stuff happened, but he's in the Special Task Force that's supposed to be the DEO, and he needs to wake up because they're about to head off to his mission. I will also say, I made something out of nothing in this one panel here, and it's that you see the person, you see someone grabbing onto Judas's shoulder and shaking him up, shaking him awake. Now, if you notice that in this frame, you see the DEO members, and you see their wrists. You see how there's like this like a little weird band thing on their wrist. But if you go back to the page, you notice that there is no weird band thing on this person's wrist, meaning that it had to be someone that's not these characters who all wear the same uniform. So it's like, who shook him? That gets revealed because I made something out of nothing. I did not actually intend that to be a good page, but it was just like, hey, sweet, I messed up and I can make it a good thing. In fact, I'm just gonna reveal here that Icon is literally my fucking safety net when it comes to shit in the story. It's intentional / not intentional at the same time. I use it intentionally, but it's also I use it unintentionally, but it's also supposed to be intentional for that aspect. That Icon is the guy that basically fixes the story. Whenever there's a plot hole, Icon fixes it. Whenever there is something that doesn't make sense, Icon makes it make sense. And since he is an all-powerful deity, it makes sense for him to be able to do it. And he is able to basically be my failsafe whenever I fuck something up. And this is like and I used it as a storytelling device because it's like supposed to be, because everything that is going on and that gets revealed is that Icon is the narrator of the story. since he is the narrator of the story, he knows what happens in the story. And since he knows what happens in the story, he is also the editor of the story. And so if there's something weird in the story that he doesn't like, aka plot hole, aka something like this, he is able to fix it and make it so that it makes sense. So me as a story writer uses Icon as a story writer to make it so that the story that you're both reading and he is both narrating makes sense. So yeah, and that's how this particular scene makes sense to me now. It's like, okay, I messed up in an error on something, aka the wristband thing, not being on this person who shakes Judo up, and make it into something. Making it so that it gets revealed that it was Icon who teleported in and woke him up, and then teleported out. He does that for a reason, and I love Icon. I love this story, because I get to do pretty much whatever the fuck I want, and it will be all for the sake of pointing the story bits out. And there's an overarching thing, trust me, there's a message and stuff like that. So, all in all, this prologue, if you don't have to read the prologue to read the story, because shit will get revealed properly. But the prologue is here if you want to know things. And I'll also say one more time, I think I said it in the very beginning, that anyone with a named introduction, aka that shit where I put the name of the character and their level, means that they're going to be an important character. Meaning that this character will show up more times than not. So you should remember them in some way. So when they show up again, hey, you knew that they were going to show up again. But if you have like a generic character like Generic McGee in the background over there that you'll never see after this page, that's just how I roll. So yeah. So this was probably the longest one I've done. Probably because, again, I'm bored. So I did this. Hell, knowing me, I'm probably going to set up and work on the next one for next week because of how bored I am right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed. This being the longest one, I'll probably stick to like 30 minutes or something else in the later episodes of this. But yeah, and if you stuck around for this long, again, go watch the update video that I made today. Because I made one of those for you guys to have some hope in your heart. Because if you don't have hope in your heart, what are you going to do with your life? Get hope. It helps sometimes. But yeah. All right. I think I'm slowly understanding it, and I am like clinically insane. I'm just gonna go off the merit that I probably am, and just let you guys go about your day. Please, this is URB Universe. See you next time. Bye.